Well, happy Mother's Day. We are celebrating Mother's Day today in various ways. Not everyone on this planet is able to have an opportunity to give birth, to be a mother, so to speak. So we don't, all of us have that same experience, but all of us do have the experience of having had a mother of some sort or another, right? That we can all agree upon. And some of our mothers, we were close to. The relationships are a variety of elements in our past and our experience. But, so what I'd like to do to start our topic this morning is to let you bring to mind your mother or a person in your past experience that you held as a mother image, that maybe it was someone close to you, you know, that a neighbor or teacher, whoever it might have been, someone, a relative, or your mother, of course. And so let's close our eyes and pick that person that you want to emulate, that you want to honor this morning. Okay, so let's close our eyes and bring that person's face to your mind's eye. See them. Hear their voice. Feel their touch. Feel that connection. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. Come back to the room. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to think and remember the feeling that came up for you in that vision that you had of seeing that person. How did it make you feel? Did it make you feel good? Did it feel like a heart connection that was brought forth there? It can bring up a lot of emotions when we think about the person that is so close to us, that raised us, that gave us this many times unconditional permission to be ourselves. And so our topic this morning, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We all have the ability to give birth to something in our lives. And so today, I've chosen the topic of birthing the Christ. And what I mean by that is most of us recognize that the Christ is that consciousness of awareness, of unity, of oneness with the one, recognizing that there is the one element, the one principle, the one power, the one energy. And this morning, since it's Mother's Day, we're focusing more on that divine feminine energy of the Creator. That birthing energy that gives of itself unconditionally. And we want to recognize that is in all of us. That all of us have the ability to birth and bring forth this unconditional love of the Creator. How do we do it, though? Is there like a manual? Is there a step-by-step way that we can check off? How do I birth the Christ anyway? Well, any of us who are mothers know that there's no manual that comes with giving birth and raising kids and all of that business. You fly by the seat of your pants and you just make it up as you go. Because as many times as people can give you their opinions and their advice, it doesn't happen unless it happens to you and the ones that you're involved with personally. So it's a personal thing. The way that we birth our Christ in our lives is a personal thing for us. Nobody else will do it like you do it. But if I'm going to give you any sort of an opportunity to give some sort of a guideline in how you are going to bring forth and birth this Christ in yourself, I would say first of all and foremost, bring to mind, bring to recognition, bring to acceptance the knowledge that I am love and only love. I am love and only love. Does that sound foreign to anybody here? I hope not. It takes, when you say I am love and only love, what does it take? It takes knowing your self-worth. It takes knowing that, what am I? I am love. What is love? It's amazing. It's giving. And that's what we all are. When we go into that space of accepting that I am love, true love, then you know what? We are living in the kingdom. Our eyes can be open to what is all around us. And we're allowed to bring forth that truth of our being. In The Way of Mastery, and that's the book that I'm emulating still, continuing this month, in The Way of Mastery, in Lesson 6, page 75, it says, when you have experienced a relationship with anyone or anything, a moment of bliss, a moment of peace, that forever passes all understanding, a moment of fulfillment so sweet and so sublime that no word could touch it, much less express it. What you have experienced is only the flow of the love of God through you. That person or thing did not cause it. It was caused because, just for a moment, you stepped out of your drama. You stepped out of your dream and allowed the truth to be lived in you. Alan Cohen said, our well-being is dependent on our giving love. It is not about what comes back. It is about what goes out. So when we're talking about the birthing the Christ, we're talking about allowing this love, unconditional love that we are, out. Letting it out to play. Our church went on a field trip yesterday, and it was to the Cistern Chapel. This is a structure that is at the foot of Mount Woodson on the property of one of the gals I know, Charlene. And there were 9 of us that went. I think if you talk to any of the people who were there, you'll hear that it was fabulous. It was an amazing experience. I had one person tell me, you know, as I was trying to get ready to go, I thought, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I always get into these things to do them, and I don't even know why. I just let Reverend Gay talk me into all these things, and I don't even know why I'm going. And probably some of you might know who I'm talking about. But anyway, but when she's there, she just kept going on and on and on. But, oh my gosh, I can't believe how great this is. I had no idea what I was getting into. This was so great. But I asked Charlene, as we were sitting there, it's a big round metal building. It's like a water tank, you know, like you see all around. And I asked her what was the process of making this thing, building it, because she built it herself. And how long did it take you? Well, then she had to kind of back up and talk about, well, let me see, just clearing the land, because it's on a slope. You know, what the process was of getting that land cleared. And then bringing the flooring into it, which she made a clay floor into it. And so she was saying how I got this idea to do it because she had experienced being in one of these things when it was being built. Before they put the water in it, she would sneak into it at night and sing in it. And just the sound and the resonating of her voice just put her over the top. And she goes, I want to have this. I want to have this available for lots of people, before it gets any water filled into it. So that was her motivation of doing it. But she was saying the whole time that I had the notion of doing it, I never once thought or said out loud, well, I'm going to build this, but I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I have no idea how it's going to happen. She said, I consciously, distinctly never said that. How many of us, when we are birthing something, when we're wanting to bring something forth, a new idea in our life, how many of us go down that path of, but I don't know how to do it. I have no idea. How's it going to happen? She distinctly said, I never ever said those words, that I don't know how to do it. She said she had some guys come over one day, two gentlemen help her, and they said, well, what are we doing today? She goes, we are going to move this boulder from here over there. And they just looked at her and went, really? And they're asking, well, how are we going to do it? Well, I don't know how we're going to do it, but that's what we're doing. Our concept and what our task is today is that we're moving this boulder. It was a big boulder. We're talking tons. Big boulder. And so she said by the end of the day, we did car jacks, we did prying, we did this, that, and the other, and we got the boulder moved. Do you observe what she did there? She had intention. She spoke her word. She asked for help. And then she listened to the universe, and she followed directions that the universe was telling her. She said she wanted to put a clay floor in. And she had somebody, she's talking to people. She had a whole bunch of clay delivered into her driveway. Big dump of clay. She wasn't sure what to do with it, how to make it into a floor. But she's down at Seaport Village talking to somebody, a total stranger, somebody visiting San Diego, walks up to her and says, I can tell you exactly what you need to do step by step in order to get that clay floor just right in your building. Do you see how the universe, how this energy supports us? We don't know how to do it. That's not our job. Our job is to know what we want, to speak our word, to have confidence that it's going to happen. Do I know how to do it? I will when the time is right. I will accept that. And so it was a grand experience. We will be going back again, probably not for another year when she comes back from Barrow, Alaska. But it was a wonderful experience. And what I'm wanting to correlate here is the fact that she birthed that structure from her creative energy, and that the universe came forth to support it, to bring it into manifestation. How many of us have something, a little inkling in the back of our minds that we want to birth? You know you do, right? And yet, how many times has your voice, that ego voice, come right back up and said, but I don't know how to do that. That's not what you're to listen to. What you're to listen to is knowing that the universe is supporting you in that. That you are a creation of the infinite, of the divine. That's why you have that little spark that's coming there. Of course you don't know how to do it, this little finite person of you. But you're bigger than that. You have much more available resources to you than that in order to birth these wonderful things that are coming forth to you. Gerald Jampolsky said, miracles can be defined as shifts in perception that remove the blocks of our awareness of love's presence. Love is all there is. Love is right here. Love gives birth to everything, and it's right here in the now, always present. The Way of Mastery said, you are the effect of the Creator's desire to create like unto itself. Just as a wave is the effect of the ocean's desire to express itself in a new way. Surrender, then, is the process in which you finally relent. You finally give up resisting the fact of your own existence. Say, from this moment forward, I elect to birth a Christ and thereby learn what Christ is. And what does this mean? You think as God thinks. You think as God thinks lovingly. God thinks infinitely. God thinks timelessly, patiently, certainly, and above all, God thinks playfully. God is full of play. This life that we're in is not a serious matter. It's not gloom and doom, because we are here to express this joy that we are. We're here to know that there is something broader, grander, beyond what our tiny little mouse whiskers can feel. We are here to experience our grander, the bigger picture of everything. I mean, look around. Look at our home. Mother Nature. Is Mother Nature not infinite in her abilities to birth? How many of us experienced the devastating fires of 03 and 07 here in San Diego County? Right. Many people lost their homes. There was lots of devastation. What is our spring like this year? Glorious. So Mother Nature is consistently, totally providing, presenting, giving of itself. It doesn't have to be overnight, but it's going to always rebirth itself. We are here in that same capacity. We are always here to rebirth ourselves, to get a clear picture of what is this Christ consciousness that I am. What is this Christ consciousness that says I am only love and expression? And when any other little opportunity comes up into our head that says something else, we can say, thank you for sharing. I am staying with love. I am staying with the first order of the universe. The first law of the universe is order, correct? We were given the 10 Commandments in the Old Testament, in the Torah. The 5th commandment is the one that comes with a promise. Do you know what the 5th commandment is? Well, you might have a clue if you remember it's Mother's Day. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which your Lord God is giving to you. So we are to honor our background, our upbringing, our history, so that we may live a happy life. Sure, maybe sometimes, our parents did things and our mothers did things and we just shake our heads saying, really? What was she thinking at the time? Da-da-da-da-da. No, everyone is always doing the very best they can from the consciousness, from where they're at. In this morning's Science of Mind magazine, the fellow that's writing the monthly daily words is honoring women in the quotes. And this morning's quote was by his own mother, and I loved it. It says, she would say, if you need to ask permission, you already know you shouldn't do it. To me, though, that what that's saying is that you know within you what is right, what is the right way to go. And if you're trying to wiggle through and get something done that's not in integrity, guess what? The universe is going to fold back and bring back and give you that learning lesson about it. We all have within us this knowing in our hearts, in our heart of hearts. And it takes trusting it. It takes listening to it, asking, listening, trusting our gut. One of the things that Charlene talked about in the making of this whole Cistern Chapel was that, again, she had the vision and she knew what she wanted, but every step of the way, she's depending on Spirit to come forth and bring her, what she needed. Well, and one of the elements of it, she said there was an expert that knew how to do something, and as he was talking, her internal guidance system said, I don't know if that seems right. I just don't know that seems right. But he was the expert. So she went along, let him do his thing, and then at one point he realized, you know what? Kind of messed up here. Really wasn't the right way to do it. She said, from that moment on, I made a vow. I don't care who the expert is. I'm going to pass it by my internal guidance system and give it approval from within me before I trust that expert to go along with his recommendation. And we all have that. We all have that internal guidance, that trusting within us. But it takes asking. It takes expecting. It takes doing what we have to do when it's given to us. Trusting our nature is infinite, unlimited grace. Grace, grace, grace. Beautiful song, James. Yeah. Being held in the hands of grace. And that's what we are. One of the prayers that I've learned recently that I say every day, now there's a bit of it that I wanted to share with you, and this comes from the Sufi dancing that I did. It says, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. Open our hearts that we can hear thy voice. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. All of us have this ability to be more of life in expression, more of love in expression, more joy in expression. It's not a serious thing. Life is a happy thing. Everybody seen these happy faces around? They have a smile. Because life is good when we get down to the essence of it. But it does take, when we are birthing the Christ, when you go through the way of mastery and all the different elements that are involved in it, it takes intention. Just like Charlene had with building her cistern chapel. It takes intention, knowing that. It takes practice. You can't just be willy-nilly at it. You've got to be consistent. It takes asking. Okay, God, this is what I want, and you know how to do it. And you are all around me. So you ask, and then you listen. Of course, my third step that I always have is you follow directions. You ask, listen, and follow directions. But by doing that, you're also expecting and accepting. All of those elements are involved in allowing this beautiful, pristine being that you are to shine in your beautiful way, in this infinite way that you are. I really want you, each and every one of you, to think about the birthing of what is it that I am bringing forth into this life today. And it's going to come from this internal guidance system within you. It's not going to come from outside. Don't go out there for it. It's coming from within. So I was reminded of a song that I grew up with, and I just felt like I wanted to share it this morning. Because I think that it opens us up to these infinite possibilities that we are. And if you know it, you can sing it with me. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my ears and let me hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my ears, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me, Spirit divine. Happy Mother's Day.